What's up, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of GoTigers247's Film Room. I am your host, Christian Fowler, and joining me, as always, and can't stop laughing tonight.
Yeah, I know, man.
Is former Memphis offensive lineman Gabe Kuhn. Gabe, why are you laughing at me? Haven't even started yet.
I don't know, man. You're just a goofy dude.
I can't help it. Anyway, what we're here to actually talk about is to not laugh at me. So just to preface it, we didn't get to film last week with the
Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never with the coaching search with Ryan Silverfield being hired. Last week was absolutely insane. So we took the week off. We're coming back this week. Not that this week's not busy because we're right in the middle of early signing period. So we just had to make it work. But anyway, we're coming off the first ever conference championship, 12-1 season. Wrap up the season for us a little bit, and then how did you feel about the game as a whole?
Wrapping up the season, thought, offensively and defensively they were improved. And you look at Ryan Silverfield, I think it was a good hire. I think it was a good thing to get him in there, have some continuity, keep those recruits rolling. But overall, I mean, this is going to go down as the best season in program history. It has to. They're 12-1, going to play for the Cotton Bowl, just won an outright, not just a conference championship, won an outright conference championship. And it's got to be, at least the biggest finish in program history.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of if they go and lose to Penn State or not on December 28th, this is the best season ever. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that at all. And I
Absolutely.
Don't know
in bowl games, I mean, you want to go win it. You really do. But I won one while I was there. The Tigers have not fared that well in bowl games. I'm not saying that this is going to end like that.
Right.
But, I mean, you look at what they've accomplished already, and I think that speaks for itself already.
Yeah,
and regardless of the ending, how this Cotton Bowl games, I think moving forward, there's a trajectory upward, and it's going to continue on that path.
Well, you talk about bowl games and stuff, and obviously a lot of teams have trouble getting up for them, and I think Memphis is even one of them, especially, the two Birmingham Bowls did not go well. You guys won in Boca, correct? That was the win?
Nope, we lost. We won in Miami.
The Miami Beach Bowl.
Yeah.
Lost in Boca.
Everything else. Yeah.
But those bowl games are in a completely separate category from the Cotton Bowl, a New Year's Six Bowl. This is, as far as like national games go, this will probably be the biggest game Memphis ever played.
I think going to Jerry's World as compared to Legion Field in Birmingham is probably a little bit more of it. You'll be on an emotional high. So I expect this team to come out, play really hard for Coach Silverfield in his first game as the head coach, regardless of the circumstance. I know they're losing their play callers and all that. But looking back, I want to look back here at the game we're about to review.
Yeah, do a little reflecting.
That was scary.
It
did not go
didn't
how
feel
I expected.
Good. It didn't feel good.
There was a lot of things, a lot of opportunities that Cincinnati missed.
Fortunately for Memphis.
They were able to get that win. But it honestly, if we're being real, was in lucky fashion. They pulled it out by the skin of their teeth.
And I will go ahead and say, before we even get into this, we were dead wrong.
I said a 21-point win.
But even we thought that with Desmond Ridder coming back, that Memphis would be in an advantage. They would have been if they could have tackled him, but they couldn't tackle him. They could not tackle him. They couldn't contain him, and I think that's what we overlooked. I mean, we knew he was a running quarterback, but he was way better than I thought he was going to be.
And hats off to Luke Fickell.
Yeah,
I mean,
hell of a coach.
Coming for a second week in a row with a great defensive game plan, at least holding the Tigers under 30 points again. I mean, incredible job. I said their baseline was 28-35, and he proved me wrong. These guys were able to, hold down the Tigers for a second week in a row, and I was amazed by it. I really was. I didn't give Luke Fickell enough credit going into it.
And just to clarify, hold down for Memphis's offense means 29 points and 34 points and
under 30
and 400 plus yards in both of those games.
Yeah.
So that's holding down.
Keeping
Memphis's
them out of
offense.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Keeping them out of the end zone.
But like you said, the game went completely different than the way we expected, and I think we overlooked the factor of having to play a team in back-to-back games because it's so rare. I think Luke Fickell said in the press conference this was only the fourth time in NCAA history that it's happened where a team has played in back-to-back weeks. So a ton of credit, and there's a great way to send Mike Norvell off. He obviously won't be coaching the Cotton Bowl. Great way to send him off with the first conference championship, and the sight on the field afterward was incredible. It was a ton of fun to go down there and to see some of the former players. I think Anthony and Tony Pollard were down there kind of soaking everything in. Yep. It was a really cool atmosphere. The players were obviously celebrating. I think every coach that I saw was crying. Like it was an incredible scene.
Testament to what's been built, and that's why you see guys like Tony Pollard, Anthony Miller coming back, and me even like just enjoying the moment too, because you know, building up that program was not easy, and there had to be guys in between to do it, and they did it. And this is sort of the pinnacle of what you work for if you're a non-Power 5 school. Obviously, you know, moving forward, hopefully you can get better out of conference scheduling and maybe push and get a little higher than the 17th ranked team in the nation. But it is what it is for now if you're a Group of 5 team.
Yeah, and before we move on into the plays, that's the last thing I want to touch on. Is just for you, a guy that was there for 5 years, correct? Because your redshirt year and then there. So 5 years with the program and saw new heights, obviously, and really excelled within the program. And took a lot of big steps. And to see the team take this step, because you were part of the team that was co-conference champions in 2014, I believe, to win an outright championship, to be going to a New Year's Six Bowl, to be 12-1, it's incredible. So for you as a former player, what was that moment like? What were the emotions like?
It's surreal because, like, I mean, thinking back on my recruiting process, you know, shout out to all the guys that signed today. But thinking back on my recruiting process, I decommitted from a school that was an FCS school. That coach told me, you will never play in front of more than 10,000 people. You'll never be able to win more than 3 games in a season at the University of Memphis. But when you look at what Coach Fuente and then Coach Norvell built, it all came to fruition. It's just cool to be able to say that you were part of a turnaround and just to see it. I mean, it's chills. It gives you chills.
Yeah, and for them, like I said, I saw Anthony and Tony after the game on the field, and there was no jumping up and down and celebrating. It was just taking in the moment. Is that what it was like for you?
You absolutely knew it was coming. I think this year, no doubt, that Memphis was the best team in conference, and I think they showed that, beating a really good Cincinnati team twice in a row. Only loss at Temple, and there was some controversy, as we know. So, I mean, just sitting there watching that, it was special. Ready to watch it?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it then.
Trying to hold my hand over here.
Yeah, back up. All right, Kenny Gainwell start off the game. He didn't really do that well. I mean, throughout the course of the game, little outside zone action here. Manny Arota gets kind of pushed back into the backfield, but what I like here, what Kenny does, he sees that, he recognizes it, and gets north and south immediately.
And then uses those instincts to just make moves.
I mean, it's just... He knew it was somewhat of a broken play because this Cincinnati front was better than I think we gave them credit for.
And that's the first time I've seen Cameron Wilson get tossed around like that.
But at the end, he finished the play right here. I mean, he did all he could to finish the play. But again, this gets back to instinctual moves. This spin right here, like, you can't coach. You cannot coach that. That's
not coaching. That's just me being better than you.
And then just finishing. He's so strong for a guy his age.
Awesome. He's just awesome.
I can't wait to see him, next year and for years
to
come.
He's got to progress. Yeah.
He's got at least one more year.
Yeah, at least one more year. So, I mean, he could potentially leave. He's that good where he could leave after next year and be like a first or second round.
And then later in this film, we'll see his catching ability again, which sort of left him until last game.
Surprisingly.
But, I mean, when you key on it, when you see other teams key on it, it's going to happen. Right here, 3rd and 10.
I love this blitz. I love the way this was designed.
Fire him up. That's what it is.
Just bring it.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No high. This is a cover 0. There is no safety help.
Right.
Nobody's helping. You have a possible 6 players, including the running back, that can get on these 7 guys. Just a good play, especially on 3rd and 10 with a guy in Desmond Ridder who's not that good at throwing the ball. I mean,
he was in this game.
He had he was throwing to open guys. They busted a lot of busted coverages. But if you get after him like this, it's
put pressure in his face.
I mean, an unblocked Sanchez Blake off the edge, that'll get to him pretty quick.
Austin Hall took on a guard and the running back.
The thing you got to see here, though, you cannot let him sneak up out of there.
No.
If he sneaks up out of there, look at all this space. Only the referee could tackle him.
That one would definitely been a touchdown if he would have gotten out of that.
But yeah, you'll see right here from this next angle, I believe. 7 guys, 6 possible blockers. It's numbers. Just you can't block it. Desmond Ridder doesn't recognize it because he's not comfortable with it. Really, this is something he's not used to doing all the time. Getting in these 3rd and 10 situations and having to throw the ball.
And we saw some 3rd and longs in the previous game where Memphis rushed 3 and sat back in coverage. And I know it's different quarterbacks, but I think they learned from that because they didn't sit back in coverage a ton on 3rd and longs in this game. They kind of went after Desmond Ridder, tried to get pressure in his face, and for the most part, it worked in this game.
Yeah, for the most part, there was a couple missed opportunities for Cincinnati. We'll see later. Right here, I mean, this is not a wide receiver. This is an athlete. I mean,
okay, before we get in this play, where has his draft stock gone?
Straight up. I mean, directly.
Like what's okay? You know how sometimes teams will reach on a player that had one big year, and I'm not saying they'd necessarily be reaching on Antonio Gibson because I do think he's a solid pro prospect, but only really 1 year of tape because he didn't play much last year. What is the highest you can see a team reaching for him?
The thing with him is the capability he has. He can run
the ball.
Man. He can run the ball. He can catch routes. He's a really good in special teams. He can do so many things for you that, I mean, just truthfully, his stock has gone straight up. I don't know if that translates into a day 2 pick, but certainly a day 3 pick. Certainly.
I think a team could, honest to God, reach to him like a 3rd or 4th round.
Like a Tony Pollard. Because that's sort of the similar role he's played this year.
Right.
Absolutely. And I could see that. But I think when you look at the tape, he's taller and he's more built. He's built more like a wide receiver. Because Tony was more of a running back.
Running back build.
The run threat was a little more, accentuated with him, but Antonio Gibson has shown, and this is.
I think he might be turned into a running back. I think he might be a development guy that gets turned into a running back.
Look at the vision here. I want to point this out. Look at the vision. He uses his blockers so well on this run. Right here, gets up through there, and right in behind Scotty Dill, and right outside of Manny Arona's block, and just I don't know how he gets in that crease, but the fact that
jump cut is the sickest thing, dude.
I mean, but how does he get in between? You see what I mean? He just sort of slithers in between the right tackle and the right guard.
Put that foot in the crowd, jump cut, and he's gone.
That's just
jump cut.
That's just an athlete.
Jump cut is sick.
And then he's strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess 11 was going for the strip, and you're not getting that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then if he's an open field, he's gone.
6'2", 220, but he can freaking roll. This angle's awesome.
Yes, because look, he
sneaks up.
He notices 6, the linebacker, try to hit this A gap, and he cuts up, and then gets inside of Scotty Dill's block perfectly. Running backs don't have that type of vision.
No,
that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, and then, like you said, when he gets that foot in the ground,
when he gets an open space,
he's off.
Come on,
it's over.
Don't even try. This is one of those opportunities that Cincinnati missed, and this would have changed the game so dramatically. And
first off, it's a blown coverage.
Yeah.
Second off, this is like there's like 5 or 6 instances you could point to of this, and that is just not knowing how to track the ball, man. I mean,
doink! Come on, man, you got to catch that. But here's where I want to point out: they're in a zone. Jacoby Francis looks like he's man to man. They give him that look. But he passes him off to the safety, Landry Thomas. Andre gets his eyes way too involved with that outside receiver.
Yeah.
And he's way late to this deep post. I don't really get the thought process of doink. I can't. That's bad.
That's rough.
I don't get the thought process of what he was thinking in this situation, but he's got to be way quicker to trigger. You'll see here. He's got his eyes right here on this outside receiver when this guy is uncovered. I mean, literally untouched. He's got to be on this. This is his guy. I mean, once Jacoby Francis releases him, he has to get on that immediately, and there's no excuse.
And this is multiple weeks in a row where we've said in big-time situations that Landry Thomas has not been deeper than the deepest man, which is his responsibility the vast majority of times. So
I mean, it's a tiny mistake, and it's so fixable, but it's just it can cost you so dearly, and they're lucky it didn't.
Yeah.
Because that touchdown would have meant so much to that Cincinnati team. And to be honest, though, I want to talk about this as well. How'd you feel about the onside kick to start the game?
I like it. I know a lot of people were like, we're better than them. Why are we coming out and doing this?
No, it's not about that. It's just, you talk about Cincinnati. It's not an offensive football team this year. They've relied heavily on defense.
Right.
And to give them sort of a free score at the beginning of the game, I'm not a big fan of. But again, it goes back to that Mike Norvell aggressive style, and I understood the thought process.
I didn't get the call, though. that he interfered with the catch.
Apparently you cannot make contact if the ball does not hit the ground. If it pops straight up in the air.
That's what it is. Yeah, I did hear that.
It didn't hit the ground.
It went straight up, and that's why. Yeah, no, I did hear that afterwards.
Which is an interesting rule, but I didn't know about it.
It is what it is. A lot of special teams mistakes in this game by both teams. They gave the same penalties. I think there was a roughing the kicker for both teams, or running into the kicker for both teams, and that interference on the return for both teams.
And then another mistake here by Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, and this would have meant so much to this team.
It's like every time they got a big play, they shot themselves in the foot. Fortunately for Memphis, they shot themselves in the foot.
Absolutely, but this is you got to understand that they're going to try to get Desmond Ridder in open space because he's not wanting to throw all the time. Especially on a 1st and 10, they have nothing to lose. But
he gets out. Lineman getting up.
He gets loose. Chris Claybrooks with the play, 2 plays in this game that changed it completely and helped the Tigers win the game. Quite frankly, look at this punch out, great play,
good hustle play.
Andre Thomas gets on it. That meant a lot because that they could potentially go down and get another.
Yeah, look where he comes from. I mean, he ends up taking a really good angle, and he's just extremely fast. And
those 2 plays right there were potentially 14 points for the Bearcats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It could have been 21-10. Yeah,
it could have swung that game so drastically to where the Tigers wouldn't have been able to come back.
Absolutely.
Right? But here,
Memphis was not able to do anything with that fumble, by the way.
No, absolutely not. But at least you got it and didn't let them get in the end zone. This is just a nice little read option. Right here, Everett Cunningham takes the dive.
This is on Sanchez.
And Sanchez has to be able to tackle the quarterback, put himself in a good position to do it.
He got sucked inside on that one.
He got caught. I mean,
you think about it. If he's coming if he's coming full head of steam downhill, this is going to be a 4-yard loss, but he gets caught up.
This is one of those situations, we call this a split zone, where he didn't know if this dive was going to get tackled because Everett is taken up by the tight end. So he has to make sure he at least can tackle both of these guys. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that he pulls it a little quicker and get out there to the edge. Great run by Desmond Ridder, though.
Good block by that receiver on Chris Claybrooks, too. He kind of just
dominated. On his feet,
feet,
spins outside. Easy one there. Tried to blow a kiss.
Didn't like that, did you?
It is what it is.
So Memphis's offense was really stagnant until this last possession. They didn't get points off of it because I think Brady took a sack and then they had to chunk up a Hail Mary and threw an interception. But this is when Mike Norvell kind of went to that hurry-up offense and let Brady work at the line of scrimmage and work Damonte Coxie, who he knew was all in the heads of every Cincinnati defensive back. The Cincinnati DBs wanted no part of Damonte after the previous week.
To the bottom of the screen, of course, they're going to man up on him. I understand that. They'll probably have safety help over top if he goes deep, if he decides to go deep. But
we tried to. We've been trying to.
They clearly didn't watch the film room because, like,
any of them.
The past 3 weeks, it's like, stop pressing him. He can beat you with speed. He can beat you with physicality. Right here, he beats him with speed and a little bit of shake. Throws the back shoulder ball. And if you're the fact that you thought you could make a play on the ball against Coxie, it's like, dude, okay, now he's gonna turn up and run for yards and make you pay. That's just what he does, and then finish the run. That's what I like to see. The physicality gets up, a little more flavor right here.
Yeah, this back half, he has owned the back half of this season. After starting slow, that's just a good route.
He's 6'4", he's a physically imposing guy, and he can do this.
Yeah. Shake right off the line and go get that back
12,
shoulder.
Come on now. You know you cannot go get that ball. You better go for the tackle, buddy.
He said it Damonte said it after the first game. He said he was ready for this matchup again because he knew he had all those DBs defeated. And he came out and had his best game of the season again.
To think they played him, had all those games of film, and still let him do what he wanted to do. And then, what do you know?
Right
Same
back
thing.
at you.
They pressed him again on the outside, right here at the bottom of the screen.
Corner.
And guess what? You'll see 12 fall from physicality.
Because we'll go back a little bit. Watch.
He tries to press him.
Watch his eyes. He's in the backfield. He's watching that mesh point. I don't know why. He's watching the mesh point, but it gets him for just a half a second, and that's all it takes for Damonte to make that move.
Well, Damonte is beating him with physicality here. He didn't fall on this one. This is the one later, but beats him with physicality, gets over
Makes
top,
that cut
shakes inside. Good God, man. I mean, and they tried to attach this safety right here, and that didn't work.
Didn't work. Split him.
Gets inside. Finish. No.
If he stays up.
No. He was mad. You can tell a little bit. The 3rd and goal here. he should have ran this from the beginning, but at least he put it in, okay?
People were a little sketched out on this play.
They come with the quasi play action right here. I don't know why you don't just
let him
PT
go
out into the flat here, but right here, you got to come out to run. I think a lot of coaches would tell you that. Come out to run. But I think he was looking backside here for Joey. Joey definitely leaked out late here, and it just did not work out.
No.
But good for him to make the play. Good for him to make the play.
All that matters.
3rd and goal. If you let that get to 4th and goal,
then you're
down by 1. You're down by 1. You don't want to be down by 1 at this point in the game.
No. So at least he better late than never.
Now here,
this is where he falls down.
Here's where he falls down. Again, press to the bottom of the screen. Same exact guy.
Rough day for number 12. Rough day.
How many times does this have to happen before you learn?
I don't.
Because if I'm a coach and I'm watching film on Memphis, I'm like, okay, I'm giving him at least 3 yards.
Yeah, and
you can catch him. I don't want you to be up in his grill because he'll be more up in your grill.
Yeah.
He's way more physical than all of our DBs.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what we've been saying is I don't think defenses know how to play Memphis at all, and this just continues to show it.
Man to man, they have the linebackers right here, number 11 and 6, sort of taking up the middle of the field. And it's just, I mean, he's too physical. Again, 12 tries to catch him and press him. He's got the inside leverage, and as soon as Damonte decides that I'm going to break to the inside, 12 falls.
Yep.
Because he's too physical. He's got his hands on you. It's just not going to work out. You'll see it here way better. God,
too little.
Man. Yes.
Too little. Damonte. I think Damonte needs to change the Twitter name to Too Little.
This kid right here, Riley
growth,
Patterson.
A lot of growth.
Good Lord, man.
Much maligned kicker over the past 2 years. Came back with a vengeance.
He has had some kicks in his career that I know he wishes he had back. I can point to one probably in the 2017 championship that I know he wishes he could have back. But he came up so clutch in this game. And from 52 yards, this would have been good from like 85. I mean, this was a moonshot.
Yeah.
Look at that ball, man. I mean, that is good stuff. And he's been really good this year.
I think he's missed only 2 field goals this year and had 4 50-plus, if I'm not mistaken. 3 or 4 50-plus. That's big time for a college kicker.
This job right here, by the way, we need to start... I need to make a public service announcement. We need to appreciate these guys right here. This is not a fun job.
I can imagine.
They just step down and get teed off on the whole time. It's not fun. I had to play this position right here, this right tackle. Not very fun.
Not fun. No, not your favorite position on the field.
They just tee off on you, and you can get. I got pancaked a few times.
It can't be as bad as the interior. At least you weren't one of the interior guys.
I was this guy, this interior guy.
Watch Isaac Ellis. They just dive right at his knees.
Oh, it's not fun. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that one. Okay, and this is the other play by Chris Claybrooks that came. This was so clutch.
Timeout.
So
clutch.
Timeout.
This is what happens. Every college defensive back, I know probably not many college defensive backs are going to see this. This is what happens when you turn your head around. To me, the most aggravating thing in college football is defensive backs not turning their heads around. And I get it. I mean,
aggravating for their coaches.
Yes,
as well.
I mean, and some of it may be coaching because I know a lot of coaches kind of coach this face guarding now because it has become legal to a certain extent that they will coach face guarding. I get that, whatever. And it's just you're young. It's difficult to adjust to playing the ball in the air with your head turned around. But when you see a corner do
get his head
at this
around
level,
and then get a pick, you're like,
that's what's supposed to look like.
Yes.
Cornerbacks in college would
doing
have
what you're coached.
Exactly. They would have so many more interceptions in college if they would just turn their head around.
But again, easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%.
But not right here, bottom of the screen, working on him. And he tries to go over top and head around pick.
He just played receiver.
I mean, to be honest, it looked like Chris had better ball skills than the wide receiver here. You'll see from this next view.
He is a former wide receiver.
You'll see right here. He's playing the ball way better than 21 is.
Yep.
Really good play.
Former wide receiver. He showed it there.
21-20. They were down in this game. And also, I don't know why Desmond Ridder thought that was a good ball to throw at that point.
I don't know why I noticed this. Roll that back for just a second. Roll it back. Pause it. Turn. Wait till Marquavius Weaver turns around. He looks like freaking Hulk Hogan, dude.
Who?
Marquavius Weaver. Jesus.
Hey, brother.
My God. Oh,
some big arms, man.
It's a big dude.
It's a big dude, man.
I would not mess with Marquavius Weaver now. Good Lord. All right, sorry.
Hulk Hogan.
That caught my attention.
Hulk Hogan, man.
He's got that's some guns right there.
And also, I think we should point this out. Come on, stop pulling the dreads. Let's get real here, man.
That's tough.
They need to make a call for that.
They do. It needs to be. It needs to be an extension of the jersey.
It should be the same as like a horse collar.
Yeah, I agree. Because that hurts.
I saw somebody the other day. I forget what game I was watching, but he got pulled down and actually tackled by his dreads. That's not fun.
No, I can't imagine that would be.
But
fun.
yeah, hey, he got the pick.
He still got the dreads. He still got the dreads
the whole time.
Dang.
Let go of it, buddy. Hey, this is an interesting play.
You remember how we said Kenny Gainwell's got some sick moves?
Yeah, this is definite. This is the definition of that. This is an interesting play to me. It's designed. I don't know what the thought was. You see, it's sort of a draw scheme here by these, by the linemen.
I just know what's coming, dude. This is just a sick freaking hezzy right here. Oh. Jesus.
I'll take Kenny Gainwell against a linebacker every time.
Yes.
I mean, every time.
Dude, I don't even know. He just dipped down,
the first down,
made him look like a complete fool. This angle is sweet. I wish we had a slow-mo on this. Because he... Oh, dude, he just... He leaves people in the dust every week like that.
Poor number 11. That sucks.
It's like as soon as he turns around, his brain just knows what he's gonna do. His brain just like, yeah, let me take over from here.
His reactionary movement is
insane.
It's unmatched, especially in the conference. I mean, poor number 11. That sucks.
Sorry about it. He's gonna be tackling air here in a second.
But it's weird that they didn't have a guy ready to block him. I guess the old linemen were supposed to. I don't know what the
they had. I guess
they must have trusted Kenny to beat him, and he did, and he goes and gets the first down after this too.
Is it not weird that a team with such good running backs and such good weapons has not been able to execute screens as far as running back screens all year? They've gotten good plays off wide receiver screens from time to time, but they cannot execute a running back screen.
Earlier in the year, they did really well with the running back screen, but then
last year,
the thing is with slow screens, running back screens like that, it becomes very predictable.
Yeah.
And teams are sitting, waiting, and that's going to be, in their mind, they're game planning to make that a havoc play, to make that a big loss. And I think they sort of went away from it for the most part down the stretch.
I think last year Memphis had like 4 60-plus yard touchdowns off running back screens.
Oh, I think
Daryl and Patrick both had 2. It just didn't work this year, and that could be the chemistry just wasn't the same with the offensive line, not as experienced. I don't know, but it just hadn't been the same this year.
Yeah.
Have we talked about these AAC officials yet?
Yeah, we have. I was on my soapbox.
No, this is
after
absolutely,
the SMU game.
This is horrible.
This is
come
horrible.
on, dude. Look, I mean, where you pause right now, he's in the field of play. He caught the ball in the field of play, backed up into the end zone, needed. The ref is right on it and doesn't call it. They don't go back to review it. They don't go look at it.
I don't know if it's reviewable is a weird thing. It's like, I don't know if you can literally go back and call a safety on this. I know.
I know when you punt the ball and you go down to down it, and that was always controversy with did it bounce in the end zone first or whatever. You can review that, so I don't know why.
They're trying to plead their case right here, though.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to review this.
But this is,
pause.
Caught.
He's in the field of play.
Yes. And then steps back.
Takes a step back.
Takes a step back. Gets in there.
Needs it. That's 2 points.
Yeah.
He even looked. He looked directly at the ref because he was like, "Oh."
He did it so quick.
I think I might have just messed up for real. Wait, what? Go through it. Watch his eyes.
He did it so quick that the ref was scared to make the call.
Immediately, eyes go left.
Let me go back. No, I'll get you what you're looking for. We're gonna get to what you're looking for.
Oh, people are gonna
there. It is, right there. Oh, right there.
Yeah,
there it is.
Immediately. He knew.
But I think it was just the ref was scared to make the call. I really do think that's what the case was.
Surprise, surprise.
He acted too confident about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the ref was like, he knows
what he's doing. He must have been fine.
Golly, man. AAC officials, they got to fix that.
It's rough.
I've had to yell about it. And here's what they did in the Tulane game consistently. They motioned him out of the backfield.
So interesting story here before we get in this play. Typically,
right here. Okay.
So with the magnitude of this game, at this point, I'm down from the press box. Let me learn how to talk again.
Okay.
And typically we can go on the field with 5 minutes left, and that's kind of the rule. Well, since the conference was doing this, and this was all put on by the conference, they did not let us come down onto the field. So I'm actually like in the front row with a group of fans because I can't get on the field. So I have like the perfect view on this. I'm actually right by the end zone. So I have the perfect view of this. And as soon as I see him come out and see this coverage, I was like, you can ask anyone. There was like 5 or 6 people around me. I said back shoulder right now.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what they did. It's the perfect call.
It's so bizarre to me though. This has been his one route. This is the route that they want to run with him, and this is the most complicated route you can run. I don't know. Like, that's so interesting to me that this is his best.
He's good. His hands are. He just has solid hands. Like you typically running backs typically body catch. I haven't seen him body catch a ball like that yet. Everything's hands for him.
That is a tough thing to do if you're a wide receiver, even. And if the fact that that's his only route that they've sort of let him run at a big rate is interesting to me. Hopefully we'll see more.
I think it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
But Kenny played really well in this game, but Antonio Gibson was the absolute man. And he said after the game, because this is the final drive where they go down and score.
He meant so much down the stretch of the season because people were keying on Kenny Gainwell so much that when you ran it with Antonio Gibson, it gave them a... They were absolutely jumbled. Their mind was jumbled. They had no idea what to do. They're like, is this guy a good running back? I know that they saw the film on him from week every other game. Week after week after week, but... I mean, good Lord. Yeah. I don't think anybody expected it to be to this. And this is crazy, too, because this is not a great job blocking.
It's a blown play. Again, the penetration was incredible here.
The guards on this outside zone play got pressed back into, especially the play side guards, got pressed back into it a lot of the time.
And Dustin missed on the linebacker. And Antonio Gibson did not care.
The wherewithal to not try to get it outside, to not try to beat them to the edge, and to go straight north and south and be a just menace and be that strong.
Yeah. That's a big first down.
Again, I'll ask, is this wide receiver? No, it's not.
It's an athlete. It's an athlete. A playmaker.
Right, and then again,
same thing. I'm not trying to puff my chest at all, but I have people that can vouch. As soon as I saw this play set up, before he even came in motion, smart. I said screen.
This was smart.
Don't run the ball here.
You have a 3-for-3 out here, and you add a body in Scotty Dill.
Right.
Really smart play call here.
And I trust Damonte Coxie 100 times out of 100 times to stick on his man right here.
I trust Antonio Gibson with that much space to get a touchdown.
I mean, just watch Damonte off the ball. Rewind it for me.
This was one of those plays, though. As soon as he caught it, you knew it was a touchdown.
This is a receiver. Damonte Coxie is a receiver who will do absolutely anything to the best of his ability. He goes and attacks first and takes this dude into the end zone.
Good job by Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty did a great job.
But when you see Antonio Gibson with this amount of space, you just know it's over. Touchdown.
Yeah, no.
And no one's gonna take him down. He's gonna fall forward. He's too strong. He's too big. Great job, man. Good play call.
Great play call.
And there was really no doubt after Cincinnati went up 24-23 that the Tigers were going to put something together for that final.
Right. No, it just felt like it was coming, but it was. How much time is left after the fact.
Absolutely. And you look back at that game, those 14 points that Cincinnati left out there would have been huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in theory, they could have ran away with the game if they would have executed properly. But once again,
out here.
That's just...
The ball was a little wobbly.
I didn't realize he almost dropped that.
That was ugly. But gets it in there. Good job by Scotty. Good job by all the guys out on the edge blocking.
It had me a little bit worried when they didn't get the 2-point conversion because it was another great drawn-up play on the 2-point conversion, and Kadarian just dropped it. Defensive back made a really good play.
Oh, and there it is. Off to FSU.
Man, he just turned like the
he threw the deuces. Did he? Wait, hold up.
It's a 2-point conversion, but he threw like the Tiger swing direct. Go back.
I don't think I can.
You can't? Oh, man. Man, we'll have to get Kenny to run that back. But he literally threw like the Tiger Woods win directly into the 2-point conversion. That's Mike Norvell getting creative. Yeah. All right, Gabe, so we have put a bow on the past 13 games. Everything is sealed up now.
That's actually good, man. For you putting a bow, it's Christmas time. We're getting into holidays, you know what I mean? Good job.
Sometimes I can be on with it. Yeah. Anyway, after that great segue. So now, heading to Dallas. We will all be there. The whole GoTigers247 crew, me, Kenny, Brooks, Gabe's like a half member of GoTigers247, but he will also be there.
Half member.
You can't be a full.
Kenny, you think that? I'm a half member? Come on, what's going on?
Okay, full member of GoTigers247. Gabe Kuhn will be there as well. Obviously excited about the trip. What are we looking for? How do the Tigers come out with the win? Because I don't think many people are going to have them favored to win this game.
They're not favored. They're already like 6.5
right.
dogs. But I think of all the matchups they could have gotten, the Floridas, the Bamas, and then Penn State. I think Penn State's one of the more favorable matchups they could have gotten.
Or Baylor.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but I think when you look at what the Tigers have offensively in their skill positions at wide receiver, at running back, they can expose some of the things that Penn State does. Penn State has an incredible front seven on defense. One of the best in the country. I'd say top 5 in the country.
Yeah.
They have 2 DNs, and you ready for these names?
Let's hear it.
Yetur Gross-Matos,
hell of a
name, and Shaka Tony. Okay,
and I know Gross-Matos is a projected first round pick.
Yes,
this year.
So both of those guys are going to be coming off the edge, and Shaka Tony will be a day 2,
day
3 pick. So these guys are going to be coming off of the edge the whole day. We're just going to have to see if the Tigers can hold up front. If they can, I think the offense will be able to do some things. And when you look at Tigers defense, I think Penn State will be able to score the ball. I really do. But this ain't Saquon Barkley and Trace McSorley and Miles Sanders. This is not that.
No.
What this is a guy named Journey Brown at running back who ran for 650 yards. There's a guy named Sean Clifford at quarterback who has not even near the stats Trace McSorley had in the same position. I think this is actually a decent matchup.
So I think we should just move on from projecting what's going to happen and how we think they're going to win, because these are 2 teams that have never played.
Absolutely not.
Completely different conferences. It's just it's 2
play callers from both teams are going to be absent.
Right.
The OC from Penn State's going to be gone.
It's so different that I think it's hard to say this is how Memphis wins. This is how, outside of the obvious things.
Yeah.
So for you, let's go a little personal with it. I know you love Coach Silverfield. I know that's your former position coach. And he's obviously now the head coach. I think
great decision.
Everyone in Memphis is excited. I've never seen support like that come from a coach. It was incredible to see. How excited are you to watch him coach this game, to hold the reins over the biggest game that the program's played in, and to kind of see what he comes up with? Because I know he's going to let Kevin Johns call the plays, which I think is a good call, because I think Johns is a very good offensive coordinator. But we know that he's going to have a hand in it, obviously. So
he's a game planner.
Yeah, absolutely. So how exciting is it for you to see him kind of come to this moment, and what are you expecting from him on offense?
It's going to be awesome. I think you'll see some continuity, but at the same time, this game, in the grand scheme of things, looking down the road with what Silverfield's going to put into this program, pour into this program, I think this is just, a small bit of it, right? Yeah. Whether he wins, he loses, whatever happens in this game, the outcome's not going to matter, because then next year, he's going to have to reload and do the same things again. He's now the head coach. But I'm so excited to see him in this position because he's been waiting for it. I mean, he's the only staff member that has been there the entire time with Norvell, the 4 years, stayed the whole time. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
He wanted the job, and he got it now, and now he's going to take it over. And I think, what you saw on film, what I saw on film, as far as the run game goes, he is very, very good as an offensive game planner.
Absolutely.
And I think you'll see a lot more of the same, offensively that we saw this year, last year, and the years prior.
Yeah. And here's the question that I've gotten the most is, with limited or no experience as a head coach, and Kevin Johns doesn't have a ton of experience as a play caller because he's been under guys that call the plays, and with a new defensive coordinator, or for this game at least, and Kevin Clune with Adam Fuller gone, do they go in conservative? Do they play the way that they did kind of against Cincinnati when it was Patrick Taylor 15, 20 times for 2 yards? And to me, hell no.
What do you got to lose?
You have nothing to lose.
Roll in there, put it all on the table. This is the last time that this senior class and this team's going to be together.
Right.
Every year you have a new team, regardless of the situation. There's guys that carry over year to year, but those seniors are going to be out. There's a lot of seniors. You look at Scotty Dill, Dustin Woodard, and Antonio Gibson,
Patrick Taylor,
so many guys that have meant a lot to this program. So you have to throw it all out on the table.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's nothing conservative that needs to go in this game, especially with how much time you're going to have to relax and prepare for next year and prepare for spring. You have time, so there should be not an ounce of being conservative. You can't be conservative in this game.
Yeah, I think it's completely, at this point, throw caution to the wind. Like we both said, this is an abnormal game against a team that you will more than likely never play again, with guys you will never see again, and coaches in different situations. So just go out there, lay it all on the line.
Absolutely.
Do what you got to do. Be creative. Scheme.
Have some fun with it.
Have fun.
Man.
Yeah, have fun with it. This is his debut. This is his first opportunity as a head coach. This is a lot of, Clune's first job as a defensive coordinator in 3 or 4 years. This is Kevin John's first real time getting to call plays like this. So let the guys go out there and have fun. And I think that's what he's going to do.
And also, you got to understand with coaching, there's living and learning. If they go out and lose this game, that is not a precursor to what the Silverfield regime will be. I
Absolutely
don't think
not.
people need to think of it that way. There's a lot of people I've seen on Twitter talking about, well, he should have won the game. We need to see him win a game. There's not a lot of experience there. Well, Mike Norvell didn't have experience before he came here as a head coach.
Right.
And Justin Fuente didn't have experience as a head coach before he came here. So
worked out pretty well.
There are things that you have to live through and learn as a coach. And I think, the more he gets to do that, especially in a big game like this, it will help him in the long run.
Absolutely. So I think we have actually went longer than anticipated tonight, but when you have so much stuff to talk about and such a big season, I think it deserves it. And fortunately, we still got one more of these.
Yeah.
We still got one more to do. Obviously excited about it.
I want to break that one down. I'm excited.
You're excited about that one? I think it's going to be fun. And, watching a game inside of AT&T Stadium is going to be pretty awesome. But with that...
You sitting with Jerry Jones?
No. I don't even think if I could, I would on that one. Not my favorite person. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Head over to GoTigers247.com. We are in the middle of craziness with the early signing period, 14 commit sign. We have a ton of content out on that right now. Basketball season still in full swing. We got stuff on that. We'll have preparation for the Cotton Bowl. So it is crazy right now. Also, head over to iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to the TKT podcast with Gabe Kuhn and his brother Alex. Ton of great stuff on there. As always, Gabe's betting has gotten better. Wait, how are you the past couple weeks?
Hey, that's not my forte.
So he wasn't as good the past couple weeks. So if you listen to him finally,
I'm all right.
If you listen to him, it wasn't good.
Not a handicapper, man. That's not what I do.
It's okay. Go check it out though. There's a lot of good stuff on there. They obviously have good chemistry with being brothers, and they talk about pretty much anything you can think of. But with that being said, that is all we have for this week. We will see you back here after the Cotton Bowl.